My brother destroyed my career because he thought I was after his girlfriend, but he was actually having an affair the whole time and projecting his guilt onto me, so I exposed everything. Conrad is 2 years older. We grew up in the same room, went to the same college, both ended up in commercial real estate in the same city. I worked as a senior analyst at a firm called Hartwell Group. Conrad ran his own brokerage with 12 agents under him and a girlfriend, Marin, who I had known since the four of us first met at orientation. Marin and I were friends, just friends. She and Conrad had been dating for 6 years. Conrad had been talking about a ring for two of them. He had not bought one. Marin and I texted about books. She was a librarian and ran a small book club out of her branch on Saturdays, and I joined it 8 months ago after a bad breakup. Conrad came to one. He sat next to Marin. He left at the halfway break and did not come back. The next morning he called me and told me I needed to stay away from his girlfriend. I laughed. He did not laugh. He said I had always been jealous of him, that I had always wanted what he had, that I was not going to take this from him. I told him he was being insane. He told me he was warning me once. We hung up. 2 weeks later, my regional director at Hartwell pulled me into a conference room and asked me if I had been sharing client information with a competitor. I said no. He showed me 3 emails that had come from my Hartwell address forwarding internal cap rate memos to a Gmail account I did not recognize. The account name was a play on my first initial and a number. The emails had been sent at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. The IP traced back to a coffee shop 2 blocks from Conrad's apartment. I told the director I had not sent those emails. The director told me he had no choice. I was suspended pending investigation. My corporate badge was deactivated that afternoon. 2 days later, the Gmail account was reported by an anonymous tipster to a real estate trade publication, which ran a piece naming me. Hartwell terminated me by the end of the week to protect the firm. I called Conrad. He did not pick up. He texted me back and said, "Maybe now you understand consequences." Our parents took his side. Our mother told me she had always worried about my fixation with Marin. Our father said this was not the first time I had embarrassed the family. Marin texted me, confused, asking what was happening. I told her to ask Conrad. He had told her I had been the one chasing her, planting doubts. He had told her this for months. I did not respond again. I spent 6 weeks unable to find work because the trade article was the first hit when anyone searched my name. I lived off savings. I started running in the mornings to keep from losing my mind. On a Tuesday at 6:15 a.m., running through the neighborhood Conrad's firm leased office space in, I saw his car parked in front of a townhome 2 blocks from his actual office. I knew that car. I had co-signed the loan on it. I stopped running and stood across the street. The townhome's door opened 40 minutes later. Conrad walked out. A woman walked out behind him in a robe. She was not Marin. She was a junior agent at his brokerage named Lucinda, whose Instagram I had seen on his phone. They kissed in the doorway. I took video. I went home. I bought a cheap notebook and watched that townhome on Tuesday and Thursday mornings for 3 weeks. The pattern was consistent. I documented every visit. I cross-referenced Conrad's brokerage calendar, which was public to clients. He was billing those mornings as site visits. Lucinda's commission splits had jumped 40% in the last quarter. I built a folder. The folder went to Marin first. I drove to her library on a Saturday and handed it to her at the desk before book club started. I did not say anything. I told her she could throw it away if she wanted. She did not. She opened it that night. She called me at midnight crying. The second folder went to Conrad's brokerage's principal broker, a woman named Dorinda, with a 1-page summary noting that Conrad had been billing client time for personal trips. Dorinda investigated within 72 hours. Conrad's license was suspended pending state board review. The third folder went to Hartwell, with the metadata from the original sabotage emails reverse traced to a laptop Conrad still owned that I'd set up for him in college. The MAC address was on file. Hartwell reinstated me with back pay and a written apology 4 days later. The trade publication ran a retraction. Marin moved out of Conrad's apartment over a single weekend. Our parents called me asking why I had done this to family. I told them to ask Conrad. He has not bought her a ring.